परम पूज्य सोना रिम्पोचे की दूरदर्शी सोच और प्रयासों से, परम पावन दलाई लामा के आशीर्वाद से भारत के टेलीविजन इतिहास में पहली बार शुरू हुआ है एक टेलीविजन कार्यक्रम जो समर्पित है भगवान बुद्ध के दर्शन, ज्ञान और बौद्ध परंपराओं को। कार्यक्रम में दुनिया के तमाम बड़े बौद्ध धर्मगुरु, बौद्ध ज्योतिष शास्त्री रोज आप तक पहुंचा रहे हैं अमूल्य जानकारियां। सबसे पहले देखिए बौद्ध धर्म से जुड़ी महत्वपूर्ण जानकारियां।
जून के महीने में लद्दाख के सबसे बड़े बौद्ध परिसर हेमिस का परिसर हेमिस महोत्सव से रंगीन हो उठता है। इस अवसर पर यहाँ गुरु पद्म संभव का जन्मदिन मनाते हैं। लंबी सींगों के साथ मुखौटे पहने नर्तक पारंपरिक ढोल के साथ जब नृत्य करते हैं तो क्षमा ही बंध जाती है। लद्दाख धार्मिक व्यक्तियों के लिए आध्यात्मिक ऊर्जा का केंद्र और खोजी लोगों के लिए अपार संभावना का केंद्र माना जाता है। आप देख रहे हैं हर साल लद्दाख में हेमिस मॉनेस्ट्री द्वारा आयोजित किए जाने वाले हेमिस महोत्सव को। हेमिस मठ को लद्दाख का सबसे समृद्ध, पुरातन और अत्यंत महत्वपूर्ण गोम्पा माना जाता है। हेमिस गोम्पा द्वारा हर साल आयोजित किए जाने वाले इस महोत्सव को देखने के लिए सिर्फ देश के ही नहीं बल्कि विदेशों से भी भारी तादाद में सैलानी यहाँ आते हैं। इन पारंपरिक नृत्यों के जरिए बुराई पर अच्छाई की जीत को भी दर्शाया जाता है।
कैसे दूर हो आपके जीवन की मुश्किलें, कैसे सवरे आपका करियर, कैसे सफल हो आपका हर काम, क्या कहते हैं आपकी किस्मत के सितारे। जानिए सटीक होने वाली बौद्ध भविष्यवाणियां।
नमस्ते टाशिदले। 15 December Wednesday, 10th day of the 11th lunar month. The elemental combination is water and water. A good combination and such elements has energy that strengthens and extends one's life. Chi Ginamgo is there, thus unfavorable to start any new activities, especially public meetings and public gatherings. Bumtong or empty ways is at north direction, so avoid all important activities, especially funeral procession, while facing north. The day is favorable for people belong to pig, mouse, ox, dragon and dog animal sign. On this day, do not perform Naga offerings and Naga rituals. December Thursday, later 10th day of the 11th lunar month. The elemental combination is water-wind, inauspicious combination and brings disharmony and separates friends and relatives. Therefore, do not believe in any rumors and deal well with your friends and relatives in order to avoid breakups. Chi Ginnamko is also there, thus unfavorable to start any activities, especially public meetings and public gatherings. Bumtong or empty base is at north direction, so avoid all important activities, especially funeral procession while facing north. The day is not favorable for raising prayer or lungta flags. BT starts from 1812, so avoid Tarsic therapies like moxibustion, bloodletting and golden needle therapies. 17th December Friday, 11th day of the 11th lunar month. The elemental combination is earth-wind. This combination has unfavorable energy to reduce the growth of wealth and property. Indication of theft, robbery, plundering are there. Disappointment and regret may come if you initiate any productive activities. The day of Dubjur are very auspicious and good to carry out religious ceremonies, praying to deities and practicing dharma. Doing Inamgo is there, so avoid inviting guests at your home. BT stops at 6:36 a.m. The day is not favorable for marriage ceremonies and initiating new assignments. Bumtong or empty base is at north direction, so avoid all important activities, especially funeral procession while facing north. Thank you and see you tomorrow at same time.
क्या है भगवान बुद्ध का दर्शन, बौद्ध धर्म का गूढ़ ज्ञान, कैसे मिले दुख से मुक्ति, कैसे पाए बुद्धत्व, क्या है धम्मम, क्या है संघम। ये कार्यक्रम आपको हर रोज दे रहा है ऐसे तमाम सवालों के जवाब। आज बौद्ध धर्म के प्रकांड विद्वान परम पावन दलाई लामा से जानिए भगवान बुद्ध का दर्शन और बौद्ध धर्म का सही ज्ञान।
Fail to solve human problem. In fact, increasing more problem. Now today's so-called terrorism, this also traces of or symptom of previous centuries' mistake. So war, I think using violence maximum way, I think instead of solving problem, reduce problem, but actually, you see, because of that seedling, right? Implant seeds of further sort of problems. Now, unfortunately, in this early period of 21st century, Iraq war, exactly, you see, same. President Bush's sort of motivation, good. Aim is good to bring democracy in Iraq, but method, violent. So, unexpected consequences will happen. So, just before Iraq crisis happened, millions of people from Australia up to the United States, you see, express their opposition for using violence. So these are, I feel, the humanity becoming more mature and becoming more realistic, and through our own experience, you see, now we pay more attention in certain sort of field in which previously neglected. So I feel humanity After several thousand years, nobody knows what will happen. But at least, you see, 21st century, 22nd century, 23rd century, I think we, humanity, our planet, certainly be more peaceful, more compassionate, more happier. There is possibilities there. But then entirely depend on our own effort and vision, clear vision. Then also I said, I think worthwhile to add, the early part of 20th century, mid-20th century, the nations competing construction of nuclear bombs. Now, in later part of 20th century, now these recent sort of months, the important nations, mainly United States and Russian Federation, now seriously talking, reducing a nuclear warhead and eventually total sort of ban nuclear weapons. These are very, very positive signs. So because of that kind of background, because there is real possibility of better world, so I am just another human being out of 6 billion human beings. I always believe everyone have the responsibility to think about the world. I'm Tibetan, but we belong to 6 billion human beings. So we have to think about 6 billion human beings, the whole planet. You Japanese, now time gone, talk about Japan only. No. Now you must talk about the whole world, because Japan's future depends on the rest of the world. In ancient time, I think 18th century, 19th century, you see, nation to nation, more or less independent. So they themselves manage something like self-sufficient. Now today, that kind of situation completely changed. Even the United States, powerful nation, their future depends on the rest of the rest of the world. And look, the spirit of European Union. In the past centuries, these small nations, you see, fought for their own sovereignty, isn't it? The subject of the people of each nation, they really willing sacrifice their own life to save their own national sort of sovereignty, these things. Now they realize common interest is more important than individual sort of interest. The individual's interest very much mixed with common interest. So therefore, after Second World War, I think during de Gaulle and Adenauer, you see the new sort of concept, European Union created. The Euro, these like German Deutschmark, very powerful currency, but they are willing to sacrifice. But the Italian lira, like Japan's yen, because of the not much, because of the value. So then, okay, but even is powerful, like German, you see, they willing to sacrifice their own sort of independent sort of, the sign of independence or sovereignty for common interest, like that. So these things are really a clear sign. People now getting more as the wider, because of that, people now realize wider interest is more important than one's own selfish, sort of self-centered interest. This is very important. Now, Copenhagen Summit about global warming failed to bring concrete result. Why? Some important nation they consider their national interest more important than global interest. That's why it failed. So some young nation still, you see, thinking, you see, their national interest more important than global interest. So world at large, these are changing. So therefore, I, as one human being out of 6 billion, so with sense of global responsibility, I have 2 commitments. Number 1 commitment is promoting inner value. Inner value means from birth, biologically, we equipped showing affection to others, sense of sort of concern about others' well-being. From childhood, this biological factor, we already equip these things. So that's very, very precious because we are social animal. Individual life depend on others, sort of, what's it, other members. So therefore, emotionally, there is something which brings together. That is human affection, human compassion. So whether believer or non-believer, these things are biologically equipped. So I always say, now according to scientists, latest scientific finding, warm-heartedness is very important for healthy body. So sometimes they call healthy mind, healthy body. It is true. Constant anger, fear, actually eating our immune system, according to some scientists. So more compassionate mind automatically bring inner peace, calm mind. Calm mind, very essential for healthy body. So therefore, these things I describe as a human value. So wherever I go, I always try to make clear. The money important, but these inner sort of wealth is more important than external wealth.